Now, because I see so many people struggling to get noticed, they're struggling to sell, even just a few measly thousands of their CDs or 1,000 copies of their MP3s, what I did was I looked at some of the emails, I looked at some of the customer support tickets that we received, I listened to some of the phone calls that we get, and you guys are hurting. You're hurting when it comes to learning how to get your music out there, when it comes to learning how to attract people who can appreciate your music. When it comes to, and I'm not talking about, getting your family members or getting 10 or 20 or 30 or 100 people or 500 people. I'm talking about getting tens and tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people or even millions of people, as you'll see later on this call, to appreciate your music, all right, to embrace your music, to embrace your musical talents, and then to be advocates for your music and go out and spread the word about you and what it is that you're doing, okay? So with the proper marketing plan and marketing strategies in place, that can all become a very real reality, and especially with the shifts that the music industry has taken lately. I'm going to give you some examples of some people who were not known just a few months ago, just a year ago, who now are incredibly well known because of their marketing strategies and because of their use of the internet and some of the creative and clever things that they've done online. And they've done it with extremely small budgets. And when I say small budget, I'm talking about less than $100. So this is stuff that every single person who's listening in on this call can afford to do, must do, and has to do. It's that critical. All right? It's actually that critical. So I've made a conscious decision to educate you guys on some of the marketing methods that I've used, some of the stuff that you just heard my good buddy and one of my great business partners, Greg Caesar, talk about. I'm going to share some of the things that we've done to successfully get our products out there, to successfully get some of the music launches and the CD launches of some of our clients' products out there, all right? And this is stuff that I've not only used for my business, like I said, it's stuff that I use on a regular basis for my clients. And I'm going to show you some examples of some of those clients as well. Make sure that you guys have a pen and pencil or a pen and piece of paper at least ready, because you're going to take some notes. And I want you to make sure that you take notes. I want you to make sure that you take notes on almost everything that I say, because you want to go back and apply a lot of this stuff. A lot of what I'm going to be talking about tonight is maybe foreign to some of you guys. So you want to make notes and go back and study this stuff, get it down pat, and then inject it into what it is that you're currently doing so that you can start to see these levels of success that everyone is after, that the majority of us are after. Now, let's go into the basics of proper internet etiquette. Now, this is pretty basic, but from what I've seen, and I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of responses from people, we send out surveys on a regular basis. A lot of people, they realize that they should be marketing their music online, but they have no clue as to where to start. There's so many different components to it. You have YouTube, you have MySpace, you have your own websites, you have email lists, you have things like autoresponders, opt-in lists, you have phone blasts, you have just a ton of different components, and it's kind of difficult if you're new to this to get a stronghold on this and to grasp where you should be starting at. All right? So now, to begin with, everyone on this call should have at least one website. Even if it's a basic site, everyone that's listening on this call should have one website. And, if you're not an expert website builder, you can use some of the services like the ones that are offered by Yahoo. I know Homestead.com. If you go to Homestead.com, HOMESTEAD.com, they have web builder services that you can go to and you can use. You can practically put up a good website, or at least one that'll get you by, temporarily. You can put one up within just a matter of hours, even if you know nothing about building a website, all right? It's that easy. Now, like I said, everyone should have at least one website. I tell my clients, the people that pay me the big bucks, I tell them that is no longer enough. That was cool a year ago. It was good 2 years ago. Now I prefer that you have at least 2 to 3 domain names. Now, domain names are totally different from a website, and I'll explain the difference in a bit. but you want to have 2 to 3 different domain names that all point to your main website. All right? And what a domain name is actually, it's www.yoursite.com. So in my instance, it would be www.tycohen.com or www.musiccontracts101.com, which is one of our sites, or www.theindustryellowpages.com. That's the domain name. All right? You should have at least 2 to 3 different domain names. You should have your legal name. In my case, it would be tycohen.com, www.tycohen.com. Okay? You should have your stage name. And when I was performing, my stage name was Ty Kelly. So in this day and age, I would have www.tykelly.com. And you should have your band name. All right? Our band name was Eternal Realness. So in this case, we would have www.eternalrealness.com. All right? You should also have your company name. If you're a company, if you're a record label, it's a must that you have your record label's domain name and that you own that. You see, the last thing you want is for someone else to own and control your domain name. Right? You don't want to leave this stuff up to chance. You don't want to not own this property. And then when it's time for you to really go out and start marketing yourself, when people are noticing you, you do not want to not own your domain name in any shape, form, or fashion. You want to make sure you own your legal name, your band name, your company name, whatever it is, your stage name, whatever it is that you want to call it. All right. Domain names cost about $5 to $10. You can go to a site like GoDaddy.com and register your domain name, and it's GODADDY.com. My personal favorite is oneand1.com, and that's the number 1 and AND, the number 1 again .com. And the reason why they're my preferred favorite is because you can register a domain name on that site or from that company for just $6.99, all right, versus being able to pay $9.99 somewhere else. I think if you go to GoDaddy, it's probably about $8.99 or $9.99. I'm not sure. I haven't registered a domain name with them since I found One and One, because I like to, I like to get the best value for my money. It's the same thing, same exact service, but I'm paying $3 or $4 less. All right, so go to oneandone.com. Another good service is HostGator. HostGator, host, HostGator.com. They also